That was horrible.
Alert, alert! Everyone over the northern seaboard is attempting to jump into the harbor with piles and piles of cash. They're trying to feed the water with money. They're trying to give money to the ocean.
Repeat,
They're trying to
breaking
give
news. The
money
ocean
to the ocean.
is hungry. The ocean craves for your money, craves the gold, all the cash, the coins, everything you have. Throw it into the ocean.
Just no Bitcoin. Nobody wants Bitcoin.
Nobody ever wanted Bitcoin to start
money.
out with. Thank you very much. It's not real currency.
Monopoly money is okay, but everything else is bad.
Monopoly money barely passable, but the gods of the ocean do recognize your efforts, your concerted efforts. Thank you very much.
This just in. The ocean only wants Monopoly money. Please, nothing but Monopoly money.
Take your gold back out of the ocean. You have it hanging there on your fishing line. Yes, I see you
No,
there. Take it out now.
Take it back.
It's
Is
too
that
heavy? Too bad.
Is that 1 shilling? What do you think this is, Britain? This is Great Britain. We don't do shillings here.
Breaking
Get that
news.
out of here.
Breaking news. All of the local Britain Walmarts are now out of Monopoly. You are screwed if you do not have any Monopoly money on you today.
Do you have the landlord's game? We are also accepting money from the landlord's game.
Have you not been burying your Monopoly money? This is Cash Ethics 101.
Where's this bit going? I was about to keep going, but I was like, I don't know where we're actually going with it.
We need to be throwing our money into the ocean. Why are we throwing our money into the ocean?
No,
Derek?
sir, stop throwing your boards of Monopoly in there. That's just pollution.
That's
we
just
need
nothing.
Money. The Monopoly money.
There are creatures in the ocean who crave the Monopoly money. Giant lizard dinosaurs. The kind of stuff you've only seen in movies. That's right. You've never seen anything like it before.
Oh, I see how you tied it in here to the movie that we watched this week. That was very good. It was from the movie Gorgo.
Gorgo
from
1960.
19-something.
Yes, we were just getting it in here. We watched Gorgo from 1961, and I am your co-host, Isaac.
And I'm your co-host, Billy Bob Jean.
And that's close. He's Derek, and we are
No,
the
I'm
co-hosts
Gene.
of That Was Horrible.
This is a podcast where we do nothing but review.
We review and review. We review the bad,
Nothing but review.
the good, and everything
we
in
only
between.
review. We are for you.
I'm just getting
I'm
this just in. We
slowing
review
down.
exclusively horror movies, is what I'm hearing. Those rated rotten and below.
I have slowed down.
Oh, he's
You
getting
may
slower.
keep talking fast.
Ew, I don't like that. I don't like the 1930s
It
reporter
is
voice
me.
that's like, it's
Slow
me
talking.
Breaking news, everybody.
Breaking news. The
They're
Monopoly
throwing money
money
into the
is
ocean.
getting wet.
The ocean is too wet for the money. We're throwing it into a vault. It's so hard to talk so slow.
It's
with
impossible. We're back. Okay, we'll stop. I don't know. It might make good radio because that was radio.
That's how radio was, right? Like people would talk
radio
like that.
exists because of that.
Thank you to all of you weirdos who would talk
Delicious
like this into a microphone and tell everybody about the troubles in the world.
There are 2 things I love more than food in this world.
Yeah,
and
what are those things?
That is the crazy reporter voice that we were just doing, and also the church lady voice.
Oh yes, the
Hello,
judgy.
it's me, Cheryl Crow.
Yes, we're
and
here,
I
the
am
judgy
a
church
famous
ladies.
singer from the 1500s.
We're here to tell you that if a giant kaiju comes out of the ocean due to a volcanic eruption that also erupted out of the ocean out of nowhere, then that's just your own fault. There, those the sins of your transgressions are coming out to get you.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there because I just found out that my son, my light, my holy shining light,
of course, yes.
Ringo Starr from
Ringo
the
Starr, your
band,
sweet baby
the band,
boy.
the Beatles. He
Beatles.
was performing with my Lord and my Savior Cheryl Crow, and I just do not know how I can move on to my life knowing I haven't seen
you
them
missed
together.
that, knowing that you didn't get there. Well, me and the girls of the parish, we were trying to get you some tickets for that.
Who perished?
You will, now that you know you'll never see Cheryl Crow and Mr. Beatles together in
His
action.
name is Ringo Starr, please.
Ringo
also,
Beatles.
Billy Strings was there. Jack White was there.
Jack what?
Jack White.
Jack who? Jack what?
White.
Jack what?
White.
This is terrible.
This is bad.
This is our first episode of 2025.
And you can tell because we're off the rails like a crazy train.
It has actually been a second since we recorded a formal episode because
1 month.
if you remember, the last time we had actually released something was our 2024 top 10 horror movies.
I hope you guys watched it.
Please check it out. It's so I think it's fun to watch, and I lived it.
Isaac did such a great job editing that video.
I put
too.
a
He
little
put a lot of work
stank
into it.
on it. You know, there's some editing in there that is really fun. But like honestly, Derek has called this to me. He noticed that in comparison to last year's or like the 2023's top 10 video, we already have more views on this one.
We do. This is by far our most like propelling. What's the word?
Propeller. I hardly know her.
I made that joke earlier, and you looked at me like I was the scum of the earth, and then you repeat it like it's funny. Anyway, it's our most like
2025 is the return of the Seinfeld song.
Did it ever leave?
But yes, our most watched video.
Yeah, but like fastest growing views. Like we've had an influx of new listeners. So thank you so much for being here.
If
welcome.
you are here because of that video, hello, welcome to
and
the
I'm
show.
So
we are
sorry
that was
for
horrible.
what you just witnessed for the last 5 minutes.
It is not going to change. It has always been this way.
I was gonna say something like it's not always like that.
Oh.
But then I was like, I don't want to be a liar.
It would be a lie. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. It would not be true if we said anything like that.
Don't listen to any of the episodes where we start singing at the beginning. It's just
I think those are some of our best. I don't know what you're talking about, Derek. I really like those ones.
Maybe some people like. I like it. I like it.
But,
I'm hiding.
yeah, it's been a great time. We are here in 2025, ready for another year of good fun. We are working on some fun stuff to be released soon that I hope you guys will enjoy.
Should we tell them what it is?
Should we tell them
Should
what
we
it is?
spoil it?
Should we-
We're playing video games now.
We're playing video games
Now, listen, those of you who know
Those
the deep cuts,
Deep
know,
cut. That was horrible. Fans been with us since day one.
you may know that way back when we did release a couple gaming videos that failed miserably.
That were
and
two.
were honestly
By a couple, we mean two.
just really bad, and they have been removed from the fathoms
Not
of the
that bad. I don't
Okay.
know, you spit on these a lot. I think they're fine. They're not like fantastic.
No, but that's not like this. It's not like
It's nothing. It's nothing
Maybe-
like what we got cooking.
Maybe in the future when we have like a Patreon, we can be like, here's this piles of garbage if you want
yeah.
an hour more of our content.
You big. That was horrible. Heads really want to see those.
But now we've actually put some energy and some effort. This is the thing about us going like bi-weekly,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? Is when our podcast came out as bi, it really helped like.
And we thank the community
Shape
for
that.
your acceptance in that.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. No, but really like we have more time to do like the not so horribles, which I'm sure everyone's been liking, and then also these gaming videos, which we're going to start doing. Which I honestly, Isaac was showing me the editing he's been doing on them.
It's just fun.
It's so
It's
silly.
unfortunate. Like it's so much fun that it's like all I want to do is this. I just want to do this forever.
Me too. I mean, we have 4 episodes already in the works / completed that are going to be releasing in the next week or so, and then after that, we're going to just get on a rotating schedule with them.
But yeah, Derek
new
was right.
games.
Like the whole point of us going bi-weekly was one, of course, to like help balance our lives as well, but also like make it so we could do things like this. And
Yeah.
so now we're actually getting to that, and I think it's super exciting. And I'm really happy to see who sees it.
Yeah,
I think
me too.
it'll be fun.
I mean,
I enjoy it.
Those longtime listeners know we've been saying we've had stuff cooking for a while. This is kind of some of the things we
It's
have. We have
actually
other
happening.
things coming down the pipeline that will also actually happen,
Yeah.
just eventually. It was really nice. Thanks for all your patience with us because we definitely took some time to just live our lives,
Be people again.
And yeah, the first year of the podcast we went so hard, and then we realized that that's not possible to
Which I think
maintain.
is great. Got a great foundation
yeah.
underneath the whole thing.
I mean, we're
know?
episode 80 today.
Yeah, that's crazy. Happy episode
Happy
80.
happy
first
80th
step of
birthday.
2025.
We're
80th
old enough
birthday.
to die in 20 years.
Oh, you die. A podcast die at 100?
No. No matter what, if
Or
you
like
hit
a
100,
phoenix.
you die immediately. God told me that. No, but really, yeah. I mean, to get solemn here, like it's been real, not solemn, but like,
Let's get really heavy with it. Hello, welcome to NPR. Do you want to discuss it this way?
yeah, kind of.
Okay, what's
Gotta get like really close to the microphone.
Yeah, what's getting at you here? So,
Thought I'd take a drink for my drink.
yeah, sure. You ready? 1, 3, 2, 1, sip. Oh goodness. And there goes 10 listeners.
Damn it. No, I don't really have anything else
You-
to say.
you-
We kind of said everything. I was just like,
I thought you had somewhere else to go with that and stuff.
no, really, just like heartfelt thank you for everyone who's listened over the last 2 years. I can't believe in 1 month from today we will be at 2 years of podcasting. That is huge. I mean, to see how far we've come
Absolutely.
in the last 2 years has been incredible. We'll have to do something special like we did last year.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But so this is our podcast here. This week we watched Gorgo from 1961.
Gorgo.
It was a fun one that popped up all of a sudden, and Derek just happened to it caught his attention enough that he's like, let's go to YouTube, check it out. We watched the clip. We're like, well, we can't not do this one.
You know, it's good that every time I do that, we don't pick a movie to watch because we would have millions of movies.
There'd be so many.
Because I do that every day of my life. I'm like, ooh, that's fun. Ooh,
Yeah, but this one
clickbaity.
actually like fit enough within our thing, and it's been a minute since we've traveled that far back. Traveling back to 1961, where all the radio broadcasters sounded like this, and they were smoking cigarettes after they go scuba diving, which I hear is really, really bad for you.
Yeah, apparently. Emily was so pissed. They went scuba diving in this movie. And
Emily, who is a certified scuba diver.
yes,
at this
and
point.
they come up and get on the boat and immediately light up cigarettes. She's like, no!
Can't do
what?
that. Can't be doing that.
Which I wanted to go scuba diving and smoke a
Remember,
cigarette
kids,
afterwards.
practice safe scuba
See what
diving.
happens. I don't know.
If you finish scuba diving and an adult offers you a cigarette, don't take that cigarette, kids. Practice safe scuba diving.
The more you know. I'm gonna Google it. Smoke a cigarette after scuba diving.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Oh no, it's just a bunch of pictures of guys looking really fucking cool, looking really sick and like hot. Oh man, everybody looks so cool.
Look how sick and hot they look.
Look at how sexy they are smoking a cigarette.
Do they have cancer?
Oh no, God, no! They look ill. Like by sick, I mean
do
ill.
without smoke at all, you should always reach for a cigarette only after the dive,
What?
because then at least only the decompression risk is increased.
What? What are you saying?
I don't know.
Derek's going down this rabbit
You know
hole.
how when you read a different language that
Yeah.
you're like learning, like you're in Spanish 2 in
Yeah.
high school, specifically Spanish 2.
Spanish 2 in high school.
And then you go to Mexico and you look at a billboard and you can understand like 3 words.
Mhm.
That's what just happened to me.
Reading English?
I read that English paragraph that I understand every single word.
but only
It felt like I'm going to read it
got through the
again
cracks.
because it made no goddamn
once
sense.
slower, please.
If you can't do without smoke at all, you should always reach for a cigarette only after the dive, because then at least only the decompression risk is increased.
Did they have a stroke while writing this? What is this?
I don't know. I was adding punctuation in there. That was a very divinglore.com in smoking and diving.
divinglore.com. You're full of shit. That's what we say.
Divinglore.com. It's a real website.
It's a whole thing.
Health risk for smokers. Oh, it's bad. You can have a gas embolism.
Well, that
if you
just
have
sounds
smoke in your
terrible.
body. Whoa, this is bad.
This sounds like Science Jim's kind of territory here.
Oh, it is. Hello, it's me, Science Jim. Thanks for reminding me. Put me on your head, you son of a bitch. Oh, that's Count Trivia. Don't put him on your head. I hope you turn this into a short, because that'd be funny. Because then it works that I'm putting a puppet on my head.
Yeah, if you're also new to the podcast, we have puppets here as well. We have a Science Jim, a Count Trivia, and maybe another one.
He might be.
Maybe.
Are we keeping him hidden? Is that why he's not here?
Maybe.
He was sniffing my ass earlier. I didn't know what that was about.
Gross.
I think he was trying to puppet me.
Jim, tell me. Oh, yuck. Jim, tell me about smoking and scuba diving because it sounds really bad for you.
Well, air bubbles can form in the air bubbles in your chest.
Fascinating.
Basically, oh, my dog's barking. That's my dog now.
Oh, goodness. Your dog now. Your dog, your hellhound. Is that what you have?
Basically, it
eldritch
can cause
being?
embolisms. So, like, the smoke can, like, mix with the oxygen that's in weird places in your body. I don't want to say it wrong because Steve, my father, Derek's father-in-law, is actually, like, one of the most certified scuba divers you could possibly be.
He's like turbo
and
certified.
he's going to be mad at me.
What's funny, my favorite thing about the Science Gym bits is always like, how fast can Derek read off of this website some science information and then retell it as a puppet character?
It's actually incredibly difficult. I encourage everyone listening to go put a sock on their hand and then pull up a random science article you know nothing about and just try and make any sense of it in about 20 seconds. I don't think people understand how difficult that is.
It's
because
great radio.
It is actually really funny. I've listened back to some of the Science Gym bits over the years, and I've been impressed that it's made any.
You pulled them off
sense.
pretty well, actually. Like if people didn't know, that's a little peek behind the curtain here about like how
that is
it's
a nice little peek behind the curtain
it's a
about me.
scramble to try to find the information for things.
It's tossed salad and scrambled
It's
eggs.
payback because Derek always tries to make me do improv on this show and like
You're
tries to
good
make
at
me
improv,
improv bits and stuff. So now I'm like, okay, tides a turn. Let's make you talk about science facts and get really scared of
Where'd
your,
the new
of your
puppet go?
father-in-law. You keep losing him.
I found it.
Okay.
All right. Gorgo, man. Let's talk about Gorgo.
Gorgo,
Well,
I
actually, no.
I would love
No, hold
to.
on.
Derek, what do you think a day in the life of somebody who gets to pilot one of these monster suits is like?
Oh my God. Okay. But
Dream job, right? Dream job.
You wake up, you
Mhm.
kiss your wife, you kiss your husband,
You have
kiss
both.
you kiss your cat,
Yeah.
you kiss your dog, you kiss your otter, and then
You live a fantastical life as a monster suit actor.
Well, this is not my dream life. This is specifically monster suit actor's life.
Of
right?
course, yeah. In another life.
I would like to clarify. This is not my personal. I don't want a cat and an otter and a dog
and
a
a dog
husband.
and a husband.
I'm
like,
fine with just a wife and 2 dogs.
that's enough. I think.
But if I was a monster suit actor,
hypothetically, if I had that kind of lifestyle.
all right. So you wake up, you kiss your wife, you kiss your husband, you kiss your dog, you kiss your cat, you kiss your otter,
Of course.
and
Everybody
then
gets kisses.
You go into the other room where the 12 kids are playing. And
Ah,
you kiss them
12
all
of
on the
them.
forehead. Yep, you kiss them all on the forehead. Then you go into the other room where your 6 other children are playing.
Hold on. What is the difference between the 12 children in this? Is that like max capacity in this one room?
Well, see, those kids were introduced to Gorgo at a young age, so they understood that men can only play in one room and women can only play in another room.
So is it 12 men and 6?
Yeah.
So 12 boys.
12 boys,
6 girls in the other room.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than Gorgo had, isn't it?
We're very open. They can be like whatever they want. You know, we're very
They have
free
the
with
freedom
our
to talk to each other, you know, brothers and sisters. We're a very kind household here. We'd let the siblings talk to each other.
I hope that joke didn't offend anyone because it is prevalent
in the movie, relevant to the movie.
It is prevalent to
so
the
you
relevance.
kiss the 12, you kiss the 6.
Yeah, and then you go downstairs and you start getting your
I like how there's a chain of command here. The pets get kisses before the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
They outrank them.
Are you kidding me?
The otter is more important than your 12 boys.
He ought to be. Anyway,
this otter better be more important than my 12 boys.
Doggone. Okay. Anyway, so you go downstairs, and waiting for you there is your 8 masseuses that you have hired.
Now, what is the point? Do they all have different body parts that they work?
Well, I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
If I get into that here, we were going to have to change the rating of our podcast.
Okay. You're right. So he's giving me that winky look, eyebrows raised, like you know.
You know.
He's winking with both eyes, which you would think is blinking. Somehow they're both winks.
Anyway, you've got 8, one for every orifice, and they take you downstairs.
I have no further questions.
Into the laboratory in which they put you on a table, and on that table is where they massage different parts of your body.
Okay,
right? So your toes, your feet, your legs, your feet, your ankles, your calves. You know,
moving forward. Where does the monster suit come into play?
It's coming. Don't worry,
it's not the only thing that's coming. But
this is not sexual. There's been nothing sexual about this entire thing.
You're right. Your 8 masseuses and their 8 orifices are fine.
No. There's only 3 orifices.
No, hold on. You said one for every orifice.
But there's 8 people for all 3. It makes sense. Okay, so
I'm scared. I'm so scared of this web you're weaving.
At this point, you're getting your feet, your arches, your calves all massaged, right? And then you slip on the boots.
The boots.
Yeah, so you got your big old monster boots.
Monster boots,
so
okay, yes.
We're going to say this is actually a true story about the guy who played Gorgo in Gorgo.
Okay.
If you don't know who Gorgo is, he's basically Godzilla. Anyway,
it's pretty much British Godzilla.
Literally British Godzilla. So it's Godzilla with bad teeth, and he's got like a big hat. Like
and every time he walks on the screen, he says, "Oh, blimey, it's Tuesday, isn't it?"
And he walks into the town. Oh, what's all this then? Anyway,
I can't find a water bottle anyway.
Oh, this is rubbish. Hey, someone put me in the boot.
Anyway, someone give me the boot.
It's pretty good. I just crushed Carnegie Hall. Oops.
I found him in the bin. Oh, Piccadilly Circus.
Oh, darn.
That's nothing. I'm just remembering British things to say.
What a trolley.
Cheers. Love.
Cheers. You know, the show I'm in right now, we have a bit about this.
Oh, yeah?
About like the names that British people. Anyway, it's fine.
How they're wonderful.
It's hilarious.
Some wild naming conventions. We need more places in America named Piccadilly. That's great.
Piccadilly. I have a friend who at work who is British, like from Britain.
Yeah.
Britain.
We've all got a Britain friend, you know.
And she was talking yesterday, or like a couple days ago, about how like she uses these words all the time. Like a British term
They're
is like
real.
sorted out.
Yeah.
To figure yourself out. And she said that to me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I know that you don't get that, but
you
it's
don't understand that.
I was like, no, you're fine. She's like, my husband's always getting on me.
Or like they use terms like, oh, I'm chuffed to bits. It's like, what is that? What does that mean?
Oh, I love chuffed. Anyway, so you're getting your feet massaged and you put them in the big boots. And at this point, you start to become the character. So
yeah.
What the other 4 masseuses are doing now, because there are 12, if you remember.
Well, you said 8, but now there's 12.
Well, yeah,
4 join them down in the basement.
Of course.
Okay.
They were massaging the suit before it gets put on you.
Yeah, like a whole Wallace and Gromit situation where like these mechanisms and people all set up around the house just for your morning routine.
So back in 1961, when this movie came out, what actually happened at this point was they had a little pretend Lego set.
Yeah.
Where you would start to get into character. They would like throw helicopters at you.
So you're saying there's like a warm-up thing before you actually get on set.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to look a fool. They only have one of these miniature sets you can destroy.
So there's a guy with like a headset on and gym clothes.
Yeah, okay.
Who's like walking
like a
him
whistle
through a
and-
routine.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, swipe left, swipe right, kick, stomp, growl. And he's like, he's
good.
helping you. Like,
So there's
make
like
it
a
through
monster
your
suit
Lego.
actor coach.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
Monster suit actor. A Masak.
Masak.
By Masak.
Don't worry, guys. That's just Masak.
Yeah, it's just Masak. Don't worry about it. It's just my sack.
You get a call from me. You're like, I really need to go. What's the problem? It's my sack.
Oh, my sack.
It's my sack. I need to go.
Sorry, guys. It's my sack again.
My sack is in danger.
Anyway, on with this incredibly true story. So at this point, you've just got the feet on, and then now that you've done a little bit
you're
of
doing
warm-up,
a lot of work just with the feet. Is it not just like kicking to start out?
Did I mention that this whole thing starts at 3 a.m.?
Oh, really?
Yeah, shooting's normally around 8 or 9. So you got to
Is your
start
entire
at 3.
family up at 3 in the morning, or do you wake them up like a rude awakening? They're all asleep.
Oh, my kids never sleep.
Oh, okay. They're
No,
always awake.
They're forced to be kept awake.
They charge the power in the house, actually.
Yeah,
you walk past them as they turn the big cylinder in the middle of the house that powers your monster like conveyor belt that brings buildings towards you made out of Legos.
Well, absolutely. I mean, somebody's got to do it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay,
They're happy to be there.
At this point, though, about an hour in, so it's about 4:30 now.
Yeah,
it's about 4:30 now.
Sure.
Now the hands.
Have
go
you
on.
eaten at any point? You know, because a monster is nothing without their balanced breakfast.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
That's actually what happens right
The
now.
starvation is what really drives you to that
Yes,
monstrous
because
place.
You got to get into that deep, fathomless pit.
Absolutely.
Deep fathoms of pit. The pit of fathom.
Sure.
The fathom pit.
Yeah.
You ever been to the fathom pit?
No, I couldn't fathom the
So
fathom pit.
now they put the gloves on your hands.
Now,
okay?
kids, can you fathom the fathom pit?
Unfathomable.
They said it was unfathomable. Do you think you can fathom it? Go on, children. Count to 3 and try to fathom it. 1, 2, 3.
I can't do it. I can't fathom it. It doesn't make any sense. Teacher,
couldn't
why
fathom
are
the
you
fathom
gargling salt? Okay, they put the gloves on your hand. I can't believe I'm still doing this bit. But it has to have a natural conclusion.
Absolutely. It has to go
go.
somewhere now. We're so deep.
So he puts the gloves on your hand, and now comes the food.
Okay.
Now is when you can finally eat, but you
Yes.
have to work for your food. So you go to the second stage of the Lego castles. Now, I'll explain how they do it nowadays. This is still the 1961.
Right, so technology has advanced since
Yes,
these days,
and it has,
right?
and
this is,
you'll
for all of you
understand.
monster suit users out there,
Yeah.
this seems pretty prehistoric to you,
Yeah, you're
right?
actually laughing or you're reminiscing, depending on
Some of you
how
are like,
old
oh,
you
I
are.
remember the days. I
days
remember
of
the Lego
Monster Suit.
buildings.
So anyway, now you're here. Actually, they invented Lego because the Monster Suit actors were trying to figure out a great way to rebuild their structures
true.
after destroying them.
This is fact, actually.
This is Lego invented.
Yeah, Bill Lego was on set actually those days. He's like, I've got this great idea.
I gotta have a better idea for how to rebuild these cityscapes.
We keep building these models out of clay and then they're just destroyed and I'm sick of gluing them back together. What if we just took these plastic blocks and then we just kind of pieced them all together?
Man, we've built like Legos.
Yeah.
We have built bits on bits.
Yeah, bits on bits.
The bits are growing.
We are wearing like 10 hats right now in this crazy bit we're going on.
I'm John 10 Hats. Okay, so anyway, now you've got the gloves on and you're on the second stage. Now this is where things get really crazy.
Yeah.
Inside each of the
Because it
houses.
hasn't been crazy yet.
Inside each of the houses, and you've got like the white house and like the gray house and like the pink house.
All made out of
So
Legos.
stupid. And anyway, inside all these are little humans made out of food.
Okay.
And that is your breakfast.
Oh, so you got to break into the
Now
house,
you have to
grab a
work
people,
for it.
and eat it.
You gotta grab a people and eat it. And inside, like some of them are like more delicious foods or like less delicious food. Here's the caveat though.
Okay.
You have to do this before getting knocked out by the rocks and boulders that are getting thrown at your head.
Oh,
Remember
so
when I said
there's-
that this is the 1961?
There's a team of people just chucking rocks at you, right?
Because back then they didn't really care about actor safety.
No, exactly. They didn't really have rules. This is pre-code, kind of stuff.
So now this is the hardest part, and it's the worst part of your day.
Yeah.
And actually, as a registered monster actor, I've come to loathe becoming a monster because I hate this process.
I love how I started this bit asking like what a dream it would be to play a monster, and you're like, it's actually despicable. You can't eat your breakfast. There's a bunch of people throwing rocks at you.
So if you make it through getting enough sustenance for the day,
if you survive, only the toughest out there can really be monster
well, that's why
actors.
every monster actor wife has at least 6 husbands. You may have noticed he only had 1 husband.
Yeah.
So that means that there's another 4 dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Before.
He burned through a bunch of them before
Yeah.
he made it here. Now it's his time to test his might, if you will.
So if you get to the end, you get you get knocked out, which is fine. But if you had enough sustenance, you live.
You can survive.
So now it's the time to go to set. All right. So now on the drive, it's another 6 masseuses, and they're sitting in the car with you, and they're getting on your arms, they're getting on the chest, they're getting on the mouth.
Your whole body is tenderized at this point.
But now you're in the suit.
Yeah.
At this point, you're full of such rage.
Yeah.
That no matter what fucking happens, you're gonna destroy that.
You're
building.
gonna go destroy Tokyo for sure.
So yeah. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, of course.
So now, fun fact, completely true fact, is that in the year 2025, they have actually created VR technology where anyone can be a monster actor.
Okay.
So you put the VR headset on at night. It's, it's the Meta Vive Quest 7. And you put it on and you wake up in the morning inside this VR world.
Oh, so you go to sleep with it, wake up in the VR space.
You wake up and you have 7 kids and 8 wives.
You got to go
12
kiss them all
husbands
and get your massages and your orifices, do whatever.
Yeah, and then you go through the whole process. The whole time someone has actually put an IV in you that is giving you sustenance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But do you get more or less sustenance based on how well you're performing in the game?
Yeah. So if it looks like you're going to get knocked out, they cut the line.
Just immediately cut. You're
and
dead.
You probably die.
You probably won't survive the night. And that's why everybody's sitting here thinking, well, I could put on a big dinosaur costume and rampage around a set. You can't.
I have a really serious question for you, Isaac. Can we sidebar real quick?
Yeah, well, let's sidebar. Let's step out of this crazy bit. Yes, absolutely. We should keep all of it.
Sometimes you let me go on these random bullshit bits, and I just don't know if we should keep them.
No, I think they're wonderful. Are you kidding me? They're what are the foundation of our podcast is built on. We are nothing if not for our crazy, nonsensical bits that go almost nowhere, but we can tie them back in, and that's the whole point.
Well, yeah, because there's a guy in a monster suit.
Honestly, this is one of the more on-brand, like on-beat things we've ever done as far as crazy, wild tangents we've gone on.
That's actually a really good point. I think this is the only time I've gone on a tangent that had something even
that
close
meant something for the movie that we watched. It's not like we're like, so anyway, we watched Dracula versus the shark, you know, like. Close enough.
I mean, both great movies.
A saber-tooth is nothing if not a shark of the land, you know.
Well,
no? You disagree?
I don't see a fucking fin.
So have we bullshitted enough? Should we talk about this movie?
Yeah, probably.
Please after you. No, please. Sir. Please, no. Please, sir was my father.
I actually forgot what
you should call me after you.
Well, I was just going to ask what you're drinking.
Oh, what am I drinking? Let's see this wonderful little liquid here. Maybe I'll have my friend Garçon, please, Bilbo, bartender.
Hello, it's me, Bilbo. I know that Derek just did a big rant anyway, but I thought I'd come out and say something fun. I've got
just elaborate on it.
So today I made you a screwdriver because in order to get into the costume in 1961, you had to have it screwed into you, and bolted into you. So today you're having a nice little screwdriver.
Very good.
Guess what's in a screwdriver?
What's in a screwdriver?
Bits of metal. Goodbye, soupy twist.
I thought I noticed some debris from falling buildings that was up in this drink here.
I'm really proud of Bilbo.
That's pretty.
He said that in the year 2025, he wasn't going to put any human bodies into the drinks.
Thus far, I'm not loving the metal, but I am loving the, not hundreds of screaming souls inside of this drink like he usually does.
I would rather drink carcinogens than I would rather drink childrenogens.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly. That should be your slogan for when you run for president next time.
Don't be drinking carcinogens. Vote Derek today. Down with childrenogens.
No. Down with childrenogens and up with carcinogens. This is nothing.
It's me, Monsanto.
Monsanto? What? Monsanto for president?
That's actually
2028.
That's the funniest shit I've ever said. I don't think you understand how fucking funny that was.
Look, all the paparazzi are here. Yes. Hello, Mr. Monsanto here. It's Billy Bill from the the newspaper.
Yes, it's me, Monsanto. You want a pile of I don't know
carcinogens? Anthrax, really. What do you plan to do about the epidemic, the uprising of childrenogens in our drinks and foods?
Oh, down with those! You gotta drink more pesticides.
Yes, pesticides. Yes,
I would feel like Monsanto, if he wasn't a Pokemon, would be a Pokemon, and when he comes out of the Pokeball, he's just
Monsanto.
Like Monsanto. But then his cousin Monsanto.
Now we've lost the plot, and now we're far away.
Over.
From the pit. Gorgo from 1961, almost a direct ripoff of things like Godzilla from 1954. It's a fun, basically if you're looking for a like I would say the style of this movie is something like a go and see it at a drive-in movie theater monster movie.
Oh my God, you're so right. I never got to experience a drive-in theater.
Ever?
No, not
They
in my
were
entire
like
life.
a large part of my childhood. I love those things.
Is it true what they say that like if you
Absolutely.
sit? Oh, okay.
It's true. Everything
was great.
Everything they say about it is true.
Thank you, Monsanto.
No, sorry.
No,
Monsanto, please. Your next question.
no. What I was actually going to ask is if you sit in the back of like a drive-in movie theater, do they really like you see bras like fly into the air like at graduation?
Yeah, absolutely. They just fly. You actually have to you have to bring an umbrella with you if you're going to be sitting outside of your car.
Umbrella.
Yeah. This is my umbrella. I actually made it out of the umbrellas I salvaged from the surrounding bits of debris at the drive-in
Did
movies.
you buy it from the bazaar or from the brazier?
The bras are actually.
It's pretty funny.
We're missing the point.
Yeah. Sorry.
Derek, you have anything to tell me about Gorgo?
I actually have a
1961?
lot. Do you want to know?
Yeah, please give me all that information.
Yeah, Gorgo though. It was a time.
What a name.
I'm so excited to talk to you about Gorgo. It was directed by Eugene Leroy.
That's a fancy name.
He's actually Russian, but he's a French film director.
He's a Russian-French filmmaker. Now,
So
he's wearing a
this
lot
is-
of hats.
This is a movie that is made in Britain,
Yes.
takes place half in Ireland,
Yes.
directed by a Russian French film director,
Of course.
with American propaganda.
Insane. And then it also takes place, the other half is in London.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's Britain.
there's a lot going on.
And it stars Bill Travers and William Sylvester. And you may be like, I don't know either of those names, but maybe you do.
Derek, I don't know those people. Will you tell me?
Don't you know William Sylvester?
No, who's that person?
William Sylvester was in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
He played Dr. Haywood R. Floyd. He was
Okay.
also in Gemini Man and Riding with Death, which is a 1.9 star TV movie from 1976. So I'm
Interesting.
sure you've seen that one.
Yeah.
That's actually basically all he's known for. It's funny, like he was, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone on the internet.
You're wrong.
But it doesn't seem like he was very famous until 2001: The Space Odyssey. At least that's the most famous thing I've seen him in. But he was like plastered all over this movie, like he was the shit.
Yeah, like he's like John Wayne, like this big name, put up on the top of every poster about it.
You know what's,
But it's like, who is this guy?
You know what's really sad about
What's really sad?
2025
Derek, it's so weird to say those words out loud.
is we can't have TV shows like the Dickie Henderson half hour anymore.
Do you know anything about the Dickie Henderson half hour?
I don't, just that he was on it. It's just like there's a TV show from 1958 called the Dickie Henderson half hour.
Yeah, of course.
But that's pure.
That would not get like funded these days.
No, like someone walks into an office and says, "Yeah, I'd like to start a TV show called the Dickie Henderson half hour.
Yeah, here, take this cigarette and $5,000. Here you are.
$5,000, I can buy a whole line of condos." He was also on the TV show Lassie for one episode.
Okay.
Which is, if you don't know what Lassie is, it was about a
not about the
horse
dog?
that
What?
takes in a dog as its pet.
I can't tell if that's bullshit or not.
Of course, that's bullshit. Lassie was like a dog detective.
See, you said it with such conviction. I'm like, I don't know, man. I thought I knew Lassie, but now I might not. You threw me because you did have a dog in it, so that's you had me going there.
Okay, Lassie is not about a dog detective.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, that doesn't sound true either. It's always safe to fact check yourself,
my
kiddos.
God.
Remember, practice safe scuba diving and
Listen,
always fact check
I was
yourself.
born in the early 90s. I was not born in the early 50s. And if I was born in the early 50s, maybe I would know who the
Maybe.
Lassie. Lassie's cute as hell and never died and is still alive, and I love Lassie so much.
Alive on in the souls and the hearts of all the American people.
Lassie was in 367 episodes, dog.
Lord.
That's insane.
Why did I think that was a movie, not a TV show?
I think they probably had movies too.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a TV show.
Absolutely.
Well, that's enough about Lassie.
So here's our review of Lassie. all the 300 plus
The
episodes.
movie about a dog detective that was born from a horse. Oh my God, I'm so bad at life.
The dog detective looks right at the camera, takes a drag of their cigarette. It's all like black and white film noir, and they go, So how was your hay?
oh my God, you just stole my joke. I made that joke like 6 weeks ago, and Isaac keeps laughing at it because it was the fucking funniest joke I've ever
and
said.
hilarious.
And then you stole it.
It's a joke only a horse could love.
Yeah, just like this nose. If you said that to someone, that'd be messed up, dog.
I really thought that. I thought, Derek, I'm setting you up the perfect, like a fucking ramp into the wonder and splendor that is High Horse Palomino. And you said, no, that's okay. I don't want to bring him out. I don't want to talk to the horse today.
So Eugene Laurie is the director of a couple other big monster movies. He also did The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, The Colossus of New York, The Giant Behemoth, Flight from Asia, Crack in the World, Bikini Paradise.
Bikini Paradise is probably the scariest of all the big monster horror movies.
I had to click on that one. I didn't know what that one was about.
Had to click on that. Derek sees Bikini Paradise and goes, oh, boy, oy, 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 oy.
This movie was kind of racist.
Oh, yikes. As most were in the 1950s and 60s. Like, it's kind of to be expected. I'm actually surprised that there wasn't a lot of racism in Gorgo from 1961.
You know, there was no racism, but also there were only Irish people.
Yeah, so.
British people.
Yeah.
Arguably the most sexist movie we have ever watched in our entire lives.
Yeah,
though.
because almost no women.
Yeah,
almost zero.
This movie pulled a Lord of the Rings and said, we're done with women. And
yeah, 1961, they said, this is boys' town. Get out of here, dames.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. I don't know. Even like the two women who were on screen for a shocking 2 minutes of this film.
Said probably 4 words each.
20 seconds of this film were dressed like incognito as a man.
Yeah, they were almost covered head to toe. They had scarves on over their heads,
dark
they had sunglasses on, like trench coats, like collars turned up, like
oh, we can't have any women on our screen.
Absolutely not.
It was actually kind of upsetting.
Yeah, what's up?
Let's get a Gorgo rewrite and only women.
Yeah, but then everyone's gonna get on the internet and be like, Gorgo went woke.
Oh my god, you're so right. I hate our world.
It's the day and age we live in. It's terrible.
So Gorgo, though,
let women fight big monsters. Is that so hard?
In today's put that on a shirt, please.
Yeah.
Let women fight big
let
monsters.
women
Put it
fight
right
big
here.
monsters.
You're not editing this like that. I don't know why I pretended.
Derek loves to try to throw things at me now. He's like, edit this thing. Bam. Craziness.
Yeah. Go check out our top 10.
There's some of that in our top 10.
I did that to you so much.
It was great.
But also I knew you were going to edit the whole thing.
Yeah,
so.
of course. You know me.
Yeah. So back in the good old 1961 times, this movie... So converted rate to American from British, from the UK, I guess I should say.
Yeah, through a lot of different translators and number machines.
It equates to about $650,000 in budget, which does make sense. This movie had crazy sets.
I was actually going to say, I was expecting a much lower budget. I was really expecting a B movie about this monster. It actually turned out some surprising scenes in this. I was like, wow, that had to be expensive.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, yellow, black.
Why are you quoting the B movie at me?
Because you said it. You thought
B movie. Okay, it's all coming together. You like jazz?
There it is. Isaac does that all the time. He does this little like head, like I don't know how to describe it. He goes, you like jazz?
Like I'm a bobblehead.
Like George, I'm a bobblehead. Okay,
George, I'm a bobblehead and a bee. I'm a bee bobblehead.
I was in the pool. Okay, the box office for this movie ended up coming out to about $1.55 million in U.S. rentals. So like back in the day of Blockbuster Video, this movie actually like it got a lot of money, which is crazy. It earned back its budget.
For some reason, I really thought like just because we were watching it for this podcast, I thought it was going to be way less, way lower, way more unknown. But I feel like Gorgo as a character has actually been utilized in a lot of stuff. They have this line of comics as well, graphic novels, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so like it made a decent amount of money. A lot of money was put into it. Like it actually was a well-produced movie at the time.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy that this movie spawned as much as it did for not ever getting a remake and not ever getting a sequel. Which it's so funny to me because I feel like it would have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it did have a fun enough premise.
That's the thing.
Like it was almost Godzilla, but it was different enough from Godzilla.
They did enough of their own stuff. It was almost like it was a mixture of like Godzilla and then King Kong as well.
Yeah.
Like those two merged together. So, I mean, those two did very well critically, so I guess it was a recipe for success. Why wouldn't they do something like that?
So the rock band Ash actually used Gorgo as a promo video for one of their songs. Then in 2010, Waiting for Gorgo was a short comedy film that actually came out as well, which I need to go watch. I haven't watched that at all.
Oh, I want to know more about that.
One of the funniest things for me, though, is that former Maine Governor Angus King actually used a clip. Are these trivia?
No, I don't have any of this stuff.
I had mentioned this to you, so I didn't think it was going to be in trivia.
No.
Sorry, Triv. Love you. Kisses. Former Maine Governor Angus King actually used a clip from Gorgo in an advertisement announcement for his 2012 run for the United States Senate.
Insane.
I don't know what clip it was. I couldn't find it, but I need to know.
I just want to know what about that. It's like, you see how these people really banded together and really fought this monster? Well, that's what I want to do for this country.
Yeah.
But you know, if I was running for any like position in government, that's what I would do. Just try to find ways to like connect horror movie scenarios into like, we can really unite the people and team up against the monster, and the monster is communism.
Oh my God. Careful. And I don't know if this is trivia. We should align next time. Next time we do a podcast, this is our first time, so I don't know.
We're still getting our baby legs under us. 80 episodes. We're still fresh.
We're still children. This has apparently influenced other kaiju productions. Did you know this?
No.
Did you see this? Are you hearing about this? Have you heard about this?
I'm hearing about it now. This just in. Derek has a lot of news to tell us about how this influenced other kaiju
Gorgo,
media.
the movie from 1961, presumably influenced several Japanese kaiju productions, such as Gappa, the Triphibian monster,
Yep, there we
Spectre Man, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 had some inspirations from Gorgo, and Gamera the Brave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to think something that was like pretty much a ripoff of something was able to inspire and make it like the genre better as a whole.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, just like that.
You must bounce on it.
Crazy.
That's the first time I've tried to do Nosferatu's voice in my entire life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have the privilege, the proud privilege. Go on and tell your friends.
Crazy style.
You were here to hear Derek try to do his impression of Bill Skarsgård's Nosferatu.
Give me something to say.
Something else to say?
Yeah, give me something to say.
Say Gorgo was a great time.
I love the movie Gorgo.
You gotta roll the R on Gorgo, though.
I love the movie Gorgo.
That's good. No, that works. Yeah. And then just
that was great radio. That was fun. We should do more Nosferatu impressions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 2025, the year of Nosferatu impressions.
And
or just impressions, period.
It all starts with the breathing.
Yes.
Like, if I were just, you must bounce on it. That's
nothing.
That's nothing. But if you do the,
yeah,
you must bounce on it. Crazy.
That's it. Yeah, all the R's have to be ruled.
Hey, you try.
No, I don't. Listen, we don't have to do anything like that.
I want to hear your Nosferatu.
I guess I have to breathe first, huh? like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, you must bounce on
hey!
Crazy style.
You've been practicing that. You're into that shit. That's your kink.
Yeah, I sit there in the mirror every morning. I'm like, God, I envision the man I want to be. It's Bill Skarsgård's fucked up vampire face.
Kicked ass. Listen, I thought mine was decent. You blew me out of the water. Thank you, Nosferatu, for blowing
So
me.
yeah, send us in your request for our impressions next episode. We'll try another one.
Send us in your impressions of Bill Skarsgård's Nosferatu.
Let us hear what you got.
Have any of you trained with an opera singer for months
and lowered your vocal octave a whole octave?
My
voctave. I have lowered my voctave.
You lost me on that one. Actually, you had me. You didn't do the breathing.
That one, yeah, I didn't breathe enough on that one, but that's okay. You have anything else to tell me about Gorgo?
Yeah. So you did mention the comic books, but I do think it's funny to mention that like there are so many of these. There's like 30 different issues, 23 specifically Gorgo comic books that were spawned from this. And in 2024, Titanic Creations have acquired the merchandising rights. They will be making more Gorgo comics and merchandise moving forward, which is hope for maybe we'll get a reboot. I normally I'm like, no reboot. I need a reboot.
I think it'd be really fun. Honestly, to tie Nosferatu in to make a little bit of sense, that is something that like was like Gone with the Wind. They made one in the 1920s. I guess they've had other iterations. Like there was a 1980s Nosferatu as well. But it's like it is a ripoff of Dracula, and then it kind of like died down. Nobody cared about it. He had cameos in SpongeBob, and that was great. Then they did this revamped version, and now it's even bigger than Dracula himself, right? And so it's like, okay, let's do that with Gorgo now. Gorgo went away, had its line of comics, whatever. Now, 2025 or 2026, it takes a while to make movies. What they're going to do is remake a bigger, scarier Gorgo movie that's like, who's Godzilla -1? What was that? It's all about Gorgo
It's all about Gorgo now. I just need to interject real quick.
Yes,
I think
please.
my wife just left me. This is breaking news. I am now a single man.
You sound a bit happy about
No,
that.
I'm not happy at all. I'm horrified.
There we go.
Emily just messaged Pull the Lord of the Rings? Go to jail, Derek. Because earlier I said that they pulled the Lord of the Rings by not having any female characters.
Women, yeah.
Which I should clarify, there are fantastic female characters in Lord of the Rings. It's just a bit that people do about how Lord of the Rings doesn't have any female characters.
No, exactly. Who do not speak to each other.
Everybody loves
in the movie.
Galadriel, Arwen. There's so many good female characters in Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely.
Just
much respect to the good name of Lord of the Rings.
Let me rephrase. They pulled a Star Wars and they created a
good pivot. But yeah, I would love to see a new Gorgo movie in this day and age. I think that'd be really fun. Also, speaking on Godzilla, because we'll probably touch on that a couple times. I found in one location, I did not find this all over the place. I found one website that lists Gorgo as the ex-wife of Godzilla.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah, and it says they have an appearance in like a few Godzilla movies, like I think there's one called Mothra, like Prophecy. I can't remember. Mothra something in it. But so I don't know if it's the same, but the picture looks like the same design. So I don't know if they were like, hey, listen, Gorgo, we like the cut of your jib. Why don't you come over into our world? Come work with Toho and make some Godzilla movies. It's just like I don't understand.
Oh, they're so cute together.
Oh, they're adorable. We're looking at side by sides.
I typed in Gorgo and Godzilla, and the first option was Gorgo and Godzilla kiss.
Incredible. So yeah, they must be. But when I brought this up earlier, your good lady wife Emily had brought up the good fact is like, did they formally get married? Like, is there a kaiju lawyer that is in charge of this whole thing? Like, and if that's the case, they had to get married. They also had to get divorced. Like, it's a whole thing. Derek's just looking at pictures of Godzilla kissing other things.
I did not expect Godzilla to be kissing so much. Listen, when I look at Godzilla, I'm not like, oh, I want to kiss that mouth.
Why is there a picture of John Carpenter between the two of them?
We don't need to worry about that.
I'm scared.
I am shocked and appalled, and I think we need to start talking about this movie. Let's get into our expectations.
Let's get into our expectations. This one I was ready for. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the fact that like it's the type of movie that it's like it's gonna, even if it's bad, it's gonna be good. Like there's entertainment just in the whole like cheesy corniness of a kaiju movie, a big old sea monster movie. What's not to love about that?
Yeah, exactly. It's been 60 years, right? Or what is it? Yeah, math is hard. Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah,
64 years since the launch of Gorgo.
Yeah, since Gorgo swept the nation,
and we knew what we were getting into.
Absolutely.
I do want to go over the reviews real quick because I didn't do that.
Of course.
Please forgive
the Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Please forgive me. So the Rotten Tomatoes reviews are actually sparse on this one because, as I talked about in, I think, the last mainline episode, they actually have a team of people who go back and find reviews from in the time of that movie.
Which is pretty neat.
I
do enjoy that.
Bring them forward. But that has not happened with this movie yet. So the only movie reviews we have that are official on the Tomato Meter are fairly recent.
Yeah,
reviews.
There are 4 reviews I can find from critics. One of them has no words in it at all.
Well, and it should be noted that if they did have a percentage rating for this, it would actually be 75% right now because 3 of 4 of these are
pretty good
positive reviews, which, whatever. But the audience score is at a 39% right now. And then Letterboxd is at 2.9. IMDb is at a 5.6. So we're kind of all over the board here.
Yeah. Should we discuss the reviews for Gorgo? Ken Hankey from Mountain Express just says, okay, giant monster flick. That's it. Not even a period. Just that.
I love
4 words.
The way that I interpreted the way you just said that was like, okay, giant monster
I was thinking
flick.
the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to say that next time I'm watching a movie with a giant monster, be like, okay, giant monster flick.
Okay, giant monster flick. Calm down.
Can we put that on a t-shirt? That sounds fun.
That's cute.
But like have a sassy looking
Godzilla
but you gotta
like
on it.
Have like a button you can press so you can hear it.
Yeah.
With that emphasis.
You carry it around with you all the time, just waiting for somebody to like give you a moment.
John Bifus from
John Bifus
Commercial Appeal from Memphis, Tennessee, it wants me to tell you, with a 3 out of 4 stars. Women are absent from Gorgo because the title beast proves to be the biggest mother of them all.
I guess that's fair. There is one bad mother in this movie, and it is Gorgo.
She's awesome. The entire movie is constructed about a feminine presence that is destructive and wrathful, but also righteous.
I had not thought about that until just now. Yeah, okay, John Bifus really bringing it in here. And then Nicholas Lacroix from NPrimeurs.ca says,
okay.
Because it's nothing, because there's no words on it.
That was really good. I closed it out. I thought you were reading.
Instead, Scott Weinberg, with the only rotten review from the critic, says, Godzilla knockoff flattens England. Which is just, again, it's not much of a review. More as like, yeah, that happened in this movie.
That did happen.
That did happen.
Thank you, Weinberg.
Thank you for that. So expectations.
Yeah, can I just read a Letterboxd review that I found that I thought was really, really funny?
Please.
Joe on Letterboxd of popular reviews with 297 likes says, "This is where it all began. As I write this, the Gorgo multimedia franchise spans comic books, video games, a 1978 Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Who can forget Gorgo's infamous Italian-American sidekick, Gorgonzola? Television commercials, and a staggering 29 big screen sequels, including Gorgo Returns Again, Gorgo versus Triceratops, and Gorgo Up in Harlem. Many of the now iconic elements of the Gorgo mythos are present right here from the beginning, including the monster's big, wagging ears, less prominent than they would become later in the Gorgo films."
I can't. So, is that real or is that bullshit?
So one of two things happened here. One, we're experiencing a Mandela effect,
yes,
where he is from a different universe.
Yes.
And this
where
is
Gorgo is like as famous as Godzilla is.
Or two, he's just full of shit.
Or he's confusing the two of them. He's like, is Gorgo not Godzilla? I thought they were the same thing.
But I only wanted to read that because I fucking need the 1978 Hanna-Barbera cartoon with Gorgo's infamous Italian-American sidekick, Gorgonzola.
I mean, you can look it up. Tell me if it's a real thing.
I already
or not.
did.
It's not real.
It is fake. And I am horrified. I mean, listen, man, if there were 29 movies, big screen sequels of Gorgo, we would know.
Yeah, that's fair. So our expectations. My first formal expectation for this one is all the corniness you love from the old monster movies. I was just expecting every trope, every gimmick that we know and love from a big, Attack of the 50-foot blank monster, I thought it was going to be a good time for that.
Absolutely. My first one is hilarious in every way. Just everything about this movie was going to be hilarious.
Yeah. I said you were really going to be able to feel that like golden age of Hollywood vibe from it. It's from the 1960s. I just felt like the way they talked, they all had the transatlantic accents and stuff, the way it was filmed and crafted and stuff. I really feel like you could feel that kind of old Hollywood vibe from it.
Absolutely. Sexism. Now, I wrote that expectation not
before knowing how many women are in the movie.
That there were literally 3 women in the movie, including Gorgo herself.
Including Gorgo herself, yes. So I said it was just going to be derivative of Godzilla and King Kong and just take themes from the both of them.
I mean, it's obvious, but this will just be a Godzilla clone.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, basically the same expectation there. Yep. I said effects to appreciate from 1961. I was like, even though it is going to be an older movie with corny, cheesy effects, I felt like there would be some standouts where I'm like, actually fairly impressive for the time.
Oh, absolutely. Amazing creature design that just makes me excited beyond belief.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm just so excited about the creature design.
I mean, who doesn't love a big old dinosaur, you know?
Yeah, he's cute.
And to that effect, my final expectation was just, I'm going to side with the monster. It's going to be one of those movies where I'm like, people, you suck. What's wrong with you? Stop hurting this big, beautiful monster.
Yeah. And then my final one is useless characters with a Z. I need more destruction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need more destruction.
Wanton destruction. Shall we get into the destruction here and now? He's just giving me these scary eyes. We have to mention though. So it is 2025, and we are always in the spirit of trying to keep our podcast good and fresh and we listen to our fans and what they ask for stuff. In this new year of 2025, the year of our Lord Garfield 2025, we're going to try a bit of a different approach in the way we discuss the movie here. I no longer wish to just tell you the entire movie plot point to plot point because it leaves you in a position where you don't have to watch the movie even slightly, because I listen to other podcasts where they review movies and they talk about it in such a way where even if I know everything that happens, I still feel like I want to go and watch the movie.
Me too. And I agree. We've been talking about this kind of for a while, back and forth, trying to figure out what makes this podcast more listenable. And so please let us know. Let us know if you like this new format. If you don't, we could consider doing something closer to what we did before.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still going to describe the movie to you. So
of course, yeah.
You'll understand the movie beginning to end.
But yeah, something a bit more freeform, not getting into every single detail, because I feel like that can make things long-winded and just kind of bog it down for a while. So I really didn't feel like that was incredibly necessary. Yeah. So allow us to tell you a bit more about Gorgo the movie in a bit more of a broad way. Not like Gorgo now on Broadway.
Make 'em laugh, everyone knows Gorgo's a laugh.
Pretty good.
Because I laugh.
So let me start out here with a synopsis on the movie itself. So here's a synopsis proper on Gorgo 1961. When an undersea volcano sends tremors throughout the Atlantic, aquatic creatures come out of hiding. merchant seaman Joe Ryan and partner Sam Slade they're definitely in love, harness the most unusual of the lot, a massive beast that looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The enterprising sailors deliver their quarry to a British circus, but it turns out that the animal is a newborn, and when his much larger mother arrives in London to rescue her son, the city feels her wrath. That basically tells you the whole movie, actually.
Literally the entire movie.
The whole movie minus the fluff.
We have been That Was Horrible.
We've been That Was Horrible. Thank you
Stay
very
spooky.
much.
No,
Derek, you got a friend there that you're playing with. You got a plan with this friend here?
Maybe later.
So,
first off, we got to talk about the two captains, dude. Ryan and Joe.
So there is a lack.
Sam.
There is a lack of women in this movie, right? We've discussed that a bunch at this point, right?
Yeah.
So there's no room for any real romance in something like this, and I feel like that was something huge in the 1960s and 50s. Most movies pivoted around some kind of love plot, some kind of romance within it, right?
Yeah. This movie did not have any of that.
No, none of that.
But it did.
If you really open your heart and look into it.
There was something real special happening between Joe and Sam. Every time they looked at each other, they were just desperate for each other's bodies.
The tension between the two of them.
I wanted them to just cut all the lines and jump each other.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
And they never happened, of course, because, they were scared of their love. It was the 1960s. Nobody really accepted them back then, So nowadays, we get the woke version of Gorgo. Gorgo goes woke. Now we get the two captains who love and make out with each other all the time. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would be wonderful.
It kind of in Casablanca.
Okay.
The Humphrey Bogart's character Rick and his friend. I can't remember his friend's name. I think it is
his
Sam.
Friend.
I think it's Sam.
History will say they were roommates.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're at the tarmac watching the plane fly away.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Godzilla?
No.
Oh my god. What are you doing?
You saw it with a live orchestra,
didn't
you?
It was the most beautiful experience I've ever experienced. You got to see Casablanca.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal film.
Tell me about this tarmac.
Stop the podcast. Stop the podcast.
Okay, we'll be right back. We're gonna go watch Casablanca.
All right, we're back. Isaac's now not seen Casablanca because that was a bit.
It was a lie.
No, at the end they're standing there at the tarmac and watching the plane fly away with his. I don't want to spoil it.
With his love.
I don't want to spoil it.
Frankly, dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
See, I did watch it. Ha.
Yeah, because you quoted the
I
most
got one.
famous
That's all
quote
I got.
of all
I got
time.
nothing else for you.
Is that from that movie?
I actually don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is either.
I don't think. No, it's from something else. From around the same time. It's got the vibes.
My
of a
point
Casablanca.
is, the two guys are standing there on the tarmac watching it fly away, and their love feels stronger throughout the entire movie
than the romance,
than the actual romance.
Wild.
That is the kind of love that we're talking about here with Sam and Joe. They literally emanate this love for each other. And it's really cute.
Yeah, no, I love it. There's definitely this hidden underlying plot there of the two of them in love, because there's no women in this one, That was something I noticed immediately. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a very male heavy movie, isn't it?
It made me a little testy with how much testosterone.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know what I miss in these old school films is the way they film underwater.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's kind of gone away. We don't do as much of that kind of stuff anymore, like putting a camera and filming scuba diving and stuff like that. There's something about things like in this movie and Creature from the Black Lagoon and stuff. I just think it's fun. What we need to do is bring horror back to the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Abyss.
Yeah.
Well, because we get a glimpse into this world, right? We're in Ireland. There's this monster sighting off the coast of Ireland, right? And they're now sending...
Which appears because of a volcano that comes up out of the ground.
Super dope.
What the hell is that about?
That happens.
I guess so, but it's just so funny, just from nothing, just rumbling up out of the ocean, a whole volcano that just erupts in crazy fashion.
What do you think? How do you think we came to be? We came from nothing.
To
nothing we return.
It's getting deep here. Are we all volcanoes? Are we made out of volcano stuff?
I erupt. Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing?
No, that's nothing.
All right. I interrupt. Yeah. Anyway, so now we've got a group of divers, right? Which is the team that Captain Joe is leading, and they're all going diving to try and find this monster.
To try and find this thing. One of the funniest things to me was they find a dead sea diver because our men went missing, so they find him in their little boats. They pull him aboard, and he's dead. And he's like, oh, well, it appears this man died of fright. You found him in the goddamn ocean.
Doctor, I don't understand what's happening. We swear he died of fright, but his lungs are full of water.
No, doctor, I think actually he drowned. His lungs are full of water. No. You see here, little sonny boy, this man died of fright from what he saw down in the deep water.
He saw the face of the devil. He saw the face of the Gorgon. Gorgo. Orga, the sea spirit. that must be it, Gorgo. That's basically the chain.
Basically
of
how
thought
these
that
things
happened when they named Gorgo.
Yeah, Derek, how do you feel about the use of the blue screen in this movie?
Oh my God.
It was a character on its own, really.
Okay, my favorite thing about this movie, and the reason why everyone should pause this, go to YouTube, type in Gorgo 1961 and watch the entire movie. Because seriously, every goddamn shot was blue screen. And when I tell you every shot was, even the ones that didn't make any sense.
Didn't need to be that way.
There are entire moments where people are standing on the street and it's blue screen. I swear to God, this technology was invented the day before this movie was
There's
made.
like several shots of this one specific reporter following up on this whole thing, and he's like always in front of a blue screen. I'm like, if you filmed this shot, why couldn't you just put him there?
It was kind of fun, though.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. But it only takes us about 14 minutes before we actually see our first shot of the monster.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a pretty murky shot because it's underwater. That's the only thing about this thing is like it was made in 1960s. Like the footage underwater is not incredibly crisp.
It's not, but it's also like fun to look at.
Yeah.
Right? It's murky and gross. And they really did go scuba diving under there.
No,
Like
no joke. They really
They
did.
were actually swimming down there.
Which is fun. Again, like I feel like these are skills and stuff that we don't utilize nowadays. You know, you don't like you just CGI a person in a pool of water. Like, look, they're scuba diving.
Oh
like,
my
no,
gosh,
no, no.
they're
We got
scuba
real
diving.
people risking their lives down there in the water.
I actually did think about that. I was thinking about how like this was just dangerous.
Yeah.
Like,
straight up. I
it
feel
was-
like movie making back then was way more dangerous for a lot of reasons.
So they then like put, I think it's Joe they put in the capsule thing. I couldn't tell who that was.
It's a strange thing they decided to do. They literally, so they're like, okay, so we're going to capture the beast because all of the people on this island, they're like this Ireland. Ireland. This is nothing.
No, it's stupid.
All of the people on the island know this creature exists, but they don't have any way to deal with it, right? So then these people come in, these Brits come in, they're like, oh, well, we're going to figure it out. They have no goddamn idea what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So what they do is they put themselves in this like deep sea diving vessel.
Yeah.
That is basically just a lure for the Gorgo sea monster that they've seen, right?
A Gorgalore.
A Gorgalore.
Gorgalore!
That's like some kind of alien overlord.
Yeah.
Something you'd see in like Bigfoot versus the Illuminati or something like
my
that.
God.
Remember that movie?
I do. Keep
Terrible.
going, though.
But so like, what's their plan? They're like, hey, we're going to lure him in with a light on this deep sea device. Okay. You have a man inside this like metal box down in the ocean.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then what is your plan?
They're
at
not
this
very
point?
smart about the way they go about these things, which is
No.
something I feel like they do better in other monster movies. They're more methodical and more intentional with what they do.
No, yeah. I feel like, I don't know why, I always think back to Pacific Rim with Charlie Day's character, who is just like science. He is
Yes.
figuring it all out,
Yeah.
right? Or even better example is Godzilla -1.
Yeah,
with the scientist in that movie.
Yes,
the
of course.
dreamy, beautiful scientist that everybody loves.
Absolutely, his beautiful hair.
But in this one, they're like, no. Let's use a giant pill bottle
Yeah.
and drop it into the ground with someone inside of it.
Yeah,
and catch him.
that's another thing.
Like a lure.
They did not have to have a person inside of there because in this really fun sequence of like Gorgo does show up and just starts like crushing it between their hands,
Yeah,
and he's just
so
like
fun.
falling back and forth. There's water getting like spraying into the vessel.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You need to release the nets, release the nets." It's like, why does there have to be a person in there? It's not like Gorgo can smell you through the water or anything.
I don't know,
like
man.
that.
So there's this little kid who's like on the boat. I don't understand why he's there. And even he's just an orphan.
No. So yeah, he's a part of the island there, and he seems to have no father, no nothing. He just
he's an
works.
orphan.
He works for like the boat captain or whatever. The there's a name that they use for it. I can't remember. Like the main guy in charge of the docks and boats and stuff on this island here.
Yeah.
He lives with him. It does not seem like there's any much of a close connection between the two of them.
I honestly did not know they lived together.
Yeah.
I thought that this kid just appeared off the street.
No, so he shows up there and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you guys out." He does like a one of the tropes that I was trying to call out in like all of like the big monster movies. There's always one character. It's usually either a woman or a child who like feels sympathy for the beast, for the creature. Like in King Kong, it was the girl, right? And so she's the one who's like, "Oh, I see the softer
right.
side of this creature." That's the role this kid serves in this movie.
guess you're right.
So he sneaks onto the boat because guess what? They capture the beast with just a big net. Pretty much.
Yeah. No, it made no goddamn sense.
No, like how they literally just throw a net in the water, then here they go. They're pulling up their big old catch.
But it's not just like any old net. It's like a wire
gigantic
net.
thing.
And these like two guys are picking it up, no problem.
And it's like wrapped up all the way around, like it was like spun around inside of this net. Like, what? Come on, let's be real. Be so real. Come on. But yeah, so this kid sneaks on the boat that they're using to transport it over to Britain from Ireland.
Yeah.
And he tries to like release the thing. He's like, no, I'll get you back to the sea, just like Nessie.
I'll get you, my boy. And then he's also got like a collection of like relics and stuff, and which is how they find out that it's like Ogra, the sea spirit.
Yes. And again, there's another classic trope of something from a big monster movie. There is some like far off disconnected island who has lore about this sea creature, this big monster, this god that they see, and they're kind of keeping it to themselves. Then some people from another country come in, they'll be like, well, we're going to take this and put it on parade.
Which I do like that trope. Yeah. And I wish that we would explore that trope more in these kind of movies.
Yeah,
which is why I'm kind of sad that we didn't get like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon out of this one.
Yeah.
Because like I really feel like there could have been
There's some fun stuff you can do with it, really. Stuff. But I really love so then I mentioned parade because that's exactly what they do. They literally get Gorgo to the mainland of Britain, put him on a truck, and just parade him with like banners and signs all over London. It's really funny the way they do this.
But the
budget that must have gone into that.
The whole set is packed, man.
Yes.
Like there are signs everywhere.
But not packed with real goddamn people.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Blue screen.
Well, not even just blue screen.
Paintings.
There's literally one shot that it shows like the side of a carnival that says Gorgo on it, and there are people painted on. It's not just like people standing there. No. We rewound it because it was
so goddamn funny. Keep in mind, this entire time we're busting up. We are laughing at this movie.
I had the funnest time with this movie. This has to be one of the funniest movies we've ever watched for the podcast. And it wasn't intentionally
maybe unintentionally, funny. I don't think we were laughing at it for reasons they intended, right?
The director of the show I'm in right now, he's been going on about how something that makes certain kinds of comedy funny is the sincerity of it. And while we were watching this movie, that is all I could think about because everyone in this movie is playing it like it is the goddamn Shakespeare.
Nobody is hamming it up whatsoever. Even for the 1960s, it doesn't feel like I'm being a corny actor here. Like they are putting on the performance of their lives.
Yeah, and honestly, like it wasn't bad in that regard. Like I didn't hate the performances in this movie. There was some sort of endearing joy and quality of the way that these people were acting through these scenes.
Absolutely.
That I just really liked watching them perform.
They were invested, and I think that's another thing. We don't get as much of those in movies these days. To speak like an old man, they don't make them like this anymore.
Because they're parading Gorgo through the streets,
which I think has some wonderful shots. They built an entire gigantic practical Gorgo that they put onto a truck. They actually drove through London. They straight up. I read a thing that said they filmed it on like Sunday mornings when there wasn't a lot of traffic.
Oh my god!
But like they really did that.
That's incredible. I didn't know that.
I love like just knowing. Can you imagine you're on like your Sunday commute? I'm like, I'm going to walk to work today. What the fuck is that?
Well, especially if you didn't know it was going to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, and you just like turn the corner, and I imagine it's like a Shaun of the Dead situation where you're like kind of dazed and you're tired and you're going about your day.
Yeah,
and you look up and you're just like holding your coffee, and this giant ass Godzilla just flies by you. And back in 1961,
sure that's fine. I'm sure there were probably people who were like, "Is that real?"
Oh, that's where I was going with this. Like, it's the War of the Worlds effect, right?
Yes.
Where like it's actually happening in front of you. You think it's real.
Yes, I mean, I would love to believe that something like that was real.
I want to believe that someone died. Knowing, like thinking, well, no, that came out wrong.
You telling me at that exact moment there was someone on death's doorstep and they saw that, they're like, I died knowing dinosaurs were real. Here I go.
Exactly.
That'd be a wonderful thought, actually.
Oh yeah, you're like, my whole life as a paleontologist, I wasn't sure if I really knew.
I feel like that should actually be some kind of request. Like if I decide to donate my body to science after I die, they should like take me in somewhere, be like, okay, before you die, here's this crazy ass government secret. Bigfoot, totally real.
Bigfoot,
and then I
real.
die.
Yeah, and then you die with that knowledge. Okay,
we should offer a service.
You ready
to
die?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I've had.
Here's the problem with offering that service: is you're giving out information that you have to be killed in order to know.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we could not be privy to that information.
But what I'm saying is, we fake it. You and I go in as actors, providing this service for people. We're dressed to the nines. We roll up into all the right gear and stuff. Yeah. We're like, here's classified information. We have all these doctored like files and shit that make it look so real.
It's so fucked up.
That is a little fucked up.
That's
I just want to to believe, okay?
I don't want to be like Ed and Lorraine Warren. I don't want to lie about.
Yeah.
Dude, I just listened to a whole podcast series about them.
About how it's
they
bullshit?
they are horrible people.
Oh, no!
We'll talk about that off camera. Go listen to the last podcast on the left series on them. It very eye opening.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a little bit of homework today. Go and listen to that.
Big groomers they were.
Oh God,
Horrible people.
Lord Almighty. Okay.
Horrible people.
Anyway, bad.
The ones in the movie series, great. No, but so where we were going with Gorgo,
Yes.
which is what we were actually talking
Gorgo
about,
from 1961.
is so they're taking him to this circus and talking back about like endearing characters.
Yeah.
Is the ringleader of this circus.
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen's grandpa.
Basically,
I swear to God.
it's like Sacha Baron Cohen and like Rowan Atkinson a little bit had a baby.
Yeah. And I just really, I don't know. There was nothing about this man that I didn't like.
Yeah.
He was just fun.
He was just like a fun little character that was put in there and then was really never seen again.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny though. Like they immediately take this Marvel discovery. They're like, wow, they call it the 8th wonder of the world, just like King Kong, you know?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, sure, we're going to put it in Dorkins Circus. That's what because that's the ringleader's last name is Dorkins. I'm like,
What
yeah,
a dork.
perfect name that will never get made fun of at all. But yeah, they put a bunch of tranquilizer in Gorgo to make sure it doesn't free itself. How much tranquilizer would you need? Like, how much do you tranquilize a horse with, and then multiply that by like 600?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, no, sure, yeah, give me something like that. While Derek's looking that up, Gorgo does escape again, and they try to hold it back. This is a really funny scene where the effects, there's a lot of inconsistencies actually throughout this movie where like it's daytime in one shot, nighttime in another one. There's a shot where Gorgo escapes from its little net enclosure as they're trying to get it into the circus. There's men who have flamethrowers that are trying to shoot it back into its enclosure. They shoot these little flamethrowers like 2 feet into the air, and then it shows a shot of Gorgo, and it's like a mile high with his flames that are coming up out of it. Like it was hilarious.
Okay, keep talking about the movie. How big do you think Godzilla is in relation to Gorgo?
In relation to well, listen, Derek, we talking Mama Gorgo or Baby Gorgo?
Well,
Because we haven't covered that yet.
Well, they didn't tranquilize Mama Gorgo,
so baby
Gorgo.
at least got to be like 50 feet up in the air, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
50 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. Unfortunately, I feel like there was a missed opportunity to use a Wilhelm scream in this movie because in this sequence where Gorgo is kind of rampaging, attacking some people, the child one swings their tail away and knocks a man just like right on his ass, and I feel like it would have been a really really good use for a Gorgo Wilhelm scream in that moment. But
as we discussed, the Wilhelm scream was invented by a woman, and there were no women in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't work out that way. So they just put Gorgo in this like large gladiator pit for the world to see. It's actually kind of it's sad, but also just kind of funny. But like, you know, Gorgo deserves more space than that. It's just like SeaWorld all over again, except before SeaWorld existed. I guess they should have learned something, I would say. Derek is still.
This is riveting information.
He needs to find out how much tranquilizer it would take to take down a Gorgo. How many? It's like that Tootsie Pop commercial. How many licks to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? And then it's how many tranquilizer milliliters would it take to knock out a Gorgo? The world may never know.
Would you say? So you said about 50 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look at Godzilla is 120 meters. 2 feet.
Yeah, sure. This is very important.
So Godzilla's about 400 feet tall. I would say that Gorgo's probably about 100 feet.
Yeah, but did you see in comparison to the mama at the end of this movie?
Okay, you're right. So let's meet it
like 75?
75, which is about 22 meters. Okay, that's all I needed from you. Keep talking.
So yeah, now go into Google and type in how much tranquilizer do I need to tranquilize my 75-foot horse?
I have a better way.
How much horse tranquilizer can I buy all at once?
I mean, High Horse could probably tell you. He loves horse. He goes crazy on ketamine.
Yeah, how much ketamine would it take to get Gorgo high?
I eat so much ketamine. Ketamine is the best. I eat it like Cheerios. I mix it with some aspartame. The sugar substitute.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole story.
That's it. You still doing your research here?
I am.
Yeah, okay. So I'll find out. So It actually feels like the movie kind of comes to a stall here a little bit because, like, they've captured Gorgo. Gorgo is in their big circus in this big gladiator ring they've put for it, basically, with a bunch of people surrounding it and stuff. And they just sit there and look at it as Gorgo just kind of screams, and it's a little enclosure. It's a little sad there. But then, so the movie feels like it has nowhere else to go. So what they do is fairly nonchalantly just drop the fact that Gorgo is a baby, actually. And there is actually... It's kind of funny that they go this length immediately. They're like, oh, if this is a baby, there must be a mother. Instead of being like, oh, this creature can get much, much, much larger than this. But no, they immediately are like, there must be a mother Gorgo. And so, yeah, then we get clips of Mama Gorgo all the way back of those Ireland islands. And it just emerges out of the water same way. There is virtually no difference between the two creatures here. It is the exact same suit. They just adjusted the size and scale of like the miniatures all around the set in order to set the scale for the Mama Gorgo versus the baby Gorgo. But yeah, now Derek, a second Gorgo has hit the movie.
Oh my God, it's a second Gorgo.
But there's really weird moments where the footage has moments varying wildly in quality. Some are grainy, some are quite clear. Then there's some with like random debris around the edges of the camera, which is really strange. But yeah, unfortunately, there's a large portion of the movie that just kind of turns to scenes of like the Navy and NATO failing to blow up Mama Gorgo in the ocean, just firing off all of their explosives willy-nilly into the ocean. Like it's kind of sad. But there are pretty impressive uses of lots of fire. When Mama Gorgo finally makes it to London, she kind of sets fire to they set fire to the ocean and subsequently to some like surveying townsfolk as well, which is kind of funny.
I got some crazy information for you.
I know you were really like deep into this thing. Like I'm so curious about where are you ready?
I got some crazy info.
Are you ready to tell all?
All right, so we're gonna talk about ketamine.
Sure, take it away. The mic is yours, Science Jim.
So I'm only talking about ketamine because actually I want to talk about this as Derek.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Derek. Here's your information. Thank you, Science Jim. All right. I put all the puppet on anyway, but. Okay.
You're dedicated to your craft.
This is crazy.
You've been tip-tap typing away. I gotta know what's going on over here.
I asked you some information. So we have decided that Gorgo, baby Gorgo, is about 75 feet-ish.
75 to 100, you know.
So I looked at the average height of a horse. Okay, so the average height of a horse is about 14 feet. Taking into that an account.
Wait. 14 feet?
Yeah, from bottom to top. Like if a horse were to stand
true?
up. Yeah.
There's no way horses are that big. That's crazy.
I also thought that was crazy, and then I looked at a picture and said that makes sense.
Like,
well, think about how much it takes to like get on top of a horse.
I guess that's fair.
So using that information, I was mostly wanting to get their weight in comparison to their height. I don't really care too much about their weight.
I'm still thinking about this 14-foot tall horse. That's like more than two of me stacked on top of each other.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, but you got to like stand him up on his feet. I mean,
I was going to say, maybe if the horse is standing on its feet, on its hind legs, then maybe I can see that.
Maybe the internet's lying to me, man. But
You're the one with the information in front of you. I can't dispute you.
Right there, or between... Yeah,
all of you equestrians in our audience, please tell us the average height of a horse.
Hold on. Do
we got to redo the math?
Yeah. God damn it.
What happened?
Apparently there's a specific kind of measurement for horses. It's called hands.
Oh, it's 14 hands. Yes. That actually tracks.
I did know that. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I have heard about this. Which is strange. Why are we measuring horses like that? Like, can't we just measure it in inches and feet? You know,
hands measurement to feet.
Yeah, converter.
Is there a converter or something? I wish I knew.
We are getting on sites we never thought we'd have to take part of.
I am an equestrian at heart now.
Yay!
Okay,
so what's 14 hands?
14 hands is about 4 feet. Okay. Oh, perfect. That's
a lot smaller than I thought.
It's still, I mean, that makes more sense. Yeah. So I'm glad we figured this out together. This is the problem.
We're learning together. You guys are in on this experience with us. Thank you for joining us to be a part of all of this.
Okay, which means...
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Times 4. I don't know. I'm typing this in instead of using a calculator. That a Gorgo is probably about 100 feet. Wait. So if we took all of the horses together, put them together, you're looking at about 100 feet of horses.
Okay.
That does make sense to me. Okay.
I believe you. You've done crazy math off the top of your head that has proven to be right. I trust you in this instance.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so if you put all of the horses on top of each other, equaling about 75 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the actual calculations are. You take that and you look at the dose of ketamine used for one average size horse, which is about 2 to 3 ish grams of ketamine to tranquilize a horse. For a human, fatal ketamine is 4 grams.
Wow.
Anything more than 4 grams will kill a human. Okay. Woo. Putting now that into consideration, doing some crazy math, you're looking about 108 grams of ketamine to tranquilize Gorgo.
Which is actually not as much as I had thought it was going to be. I thought it was
ketamine's strong.
Ketamine's some strong shit. Like grams is not that much.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. I could probably go get that today. You know, a small, I
don't know if you could go.
No, it's okay, Derek. I got a guy. I'm gonna go get my. I have a guy that deals in dosages of drugs just enough to kill a giant monster.
I mean, yeah, okay, because that's about 3.8 ounces of ground
of K. Of use the cool guy term.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I went on that tangent.
Yeah. So now we know if you find yourself in a situation, remember, children, it is 108 grams of ketamine in order to take down a gargantuan monster.
And if we looked even further into, so how much bigger would you say his mom?
I mean, I would say
him?
honestly, the Godzilla measurement is probably closer to something like, I would say probably like 350 feet, maybe
350 feet. So 75. What is that like?
He's doing it all in his
4
head.
times. So to take down Godzilla, which, why haven't we done this before? It would be about 500 grams of ketamine.
See, all of you guys are coming up with crazy ideas. In the first Godzilla movie, they create a device that sucks all of the air out of the ocean.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it kills Godzilla. Do you guys know that? Godzilla dies in the first one. I didn't know that until I had seen it. But so you're coming up with these crazy harebrained schemes. We just got to get 432 grams of K.
All you need is 432 ketamine.
All you need is ketamine. That's my favorite Beatles song.
Anyway.
You know, when they were getting really into experimenting with drugs and stuff, they had that one song about ketamine.
This is wild.
All you need is 432 grams of ketamine to kill a Godzilla. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, moving on. Mama Gorgo's here now.
Yeah, no, she's wonderful. What I feel like this movie does lack in comparison to films like Godzilla and King Kong, because I honestly feel like up until this point, doing a fairly good job at keeping up with these big kaiju movies.
Yeah.
Like, I actually really am enjoying it thus far.
I'm having a great time.
What I do feel like it is lacking in comparison to those films, though, is they never have a moment where they plan anything smart at all to try to stop this creature.
Well, they do kind of.
Like, they just try to blow it up and kill it with fire.
Yeah, they throw sticks of fire at it, which is so stupid.
There's just like these quick moments where they're like, what are we going to do? Oh, we have dynamite. Oh, it's like quick instances. There's no like big exposition like, okay, gentlemen, we're going to lay out this big grand plan. They do one kind of thing where they use electricity to try to shock it.
Yeah.
With like a ton of voltage, really as much power as they can muster to try to kill it.
Which I did try to look into that. It doesn't seem like there would be enough like electrical like wiring to do what they did, but they basically reverted like
they rerouted all of the electricity in London.
The electricity to this one little wire.
To try to stop.
Maybe this will work.
But the entire time, mind you, Mama Gorgo has made it to London, and she is tearing through the city. There's really, really fun sequences where they made like this big old miniature set of like the Tower Bridge and Big Ben. That they are just tearing through, and it's actually so fun.
It was incredibly
really,
fun.
I mean, like that's why we come to big monster movies, right? We are here to see them destroy a city.
I had such a fun time with this whole sequence.
Yeah, and the practical sets are just fantastic. They're so fun.
They're really well made too.
Yes.
Like we've watched movies in the past where like you can really tell it's a miniature set. This one was pretty convincing.
Really convincing. And again, shows you the kind of level of craftsmanship and care into the details of a movie from like the 1960s, you know?
It's ironic because at the time they were using the blue screen to like make everything look more real.
Yes.
But the blue screen ruined it.
It just dated the movie even further, right?
Yeah,
like it
but
really
like everything else, the
really
effects
held
and everything were great.
Honestly,
I mean, it was still obviously guy in a suit.
Yes.
You know, with his 20 masseuses at home.
Can't get away from... God, I forgot that whole tangent.
Me too. No, I wanted to say something, though. One thing I really respect about this movie is they showed collateral damage. So they not only were they showing the destruction of Gorgo
Yeah.
and Gorgo's mom.
But
they
also
were showing
the people shooting.
Yeah, so like there's a specific shot when Gorgo's mom is about to break down Big Ben, and they show a bunch of rockets get shot and hit the tower.
And before Derek,
her.
yeah, before that had even happened, Derek said he was like, "Oh, they're gonna hit Big Ben if they keep shooting like that." And then
Immediately it did. Another part I really enjoyed is there were a bunch of like Lost Boy looking characters earlier, and they throw like a bunch of fire, and it actually catches them on fire.
yeah, they like try to light up the ocean, and then they get caught on fire and
Yeah.
have to run away. Like
It was very like Avengers style collateral damage. I really appreciated it.
yeah, of course, because lots of movies really gloss over the fact about that. Like, sure, yeah, a monster's tearing up the city, but so are you with how much you're trying to stop it.
Yeah.
But there were some really funny moments in the sequence of Gorgo tearing up the city because they used like, I love when movies would do this where like they didn't want to hurt a real person, so they just put a dummy in the same costume and just threw them from a high height. It was hilarious. So yeah, there was a couple shots where you just see these limp dummy bodies falling into like the ocean or onto the ground
so good.
with a bunch of rubble and stuff like that. But it was super funny. But what I wanted to say about this is like, yes, Gorgo is tearing through the city. It seems like they're so confused about where's Gorgo going? I don't understand what's happening. How can we stop it? Gorgo has one straight path and it is straight to her child.
Yeah, they even say it. It's like, oh, she must be heading towards the circus. Where's she going?
Yeah, it's like, where the hell do you think
Just
she's going?
said it.
You captured her son. What do you want her to
Just said
do?
it.
But so, like, there are not any sequences of, like, Gorgo unnecessarily, like, going a different path to, like, kill a person or to tear down a building. She's just making a beeline straight to her son.
I loved what most of the like last third of this movie is people looking panicked and running through the streets. There's one shot where this guy throws his wife out of the window of a building.
Yeah.
Just like, get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta go. And then that building does subsequently get destroyed. You also did mention, it's kind of funny, there are a lot of shots of the townsfolk running and running and running with no rubble
destruction.
falling on them.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, there's a bit of like, you know, in what am I trying to say? Inconsistency. With a lot of those kinds of things. No continuity between like the rubble falling down or even the time of goddamn day it was.
Yeah, like they have the same shot that they show of this jet plane shooting rockets.
So many of the same shot of this jet plane during the day.
Yeah, it shoots them during the day and then it's nighttime when they hit.
Yeah.
It just took a really long time to get there.
It's a crazy sequence of like, you know, this big climactic battle scene at the circus where baby Gorgo is when Mama Gorgo's trying to get in. She easily tears down through their like basically big wire like electrical fence that they built for her. Like,
no problem.
No problem for Mama Gorgo. This movie had to be pricey though, really.
Yeah,
just like
I mean,
like for the time they really put a lot of effort into it and it showed.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's not one of those movies where it's like, goodness, where did all the money go?
Yeah, dude.
But so it is really great. But then Mama gets to baby. Baby is microscopic
Little
in
baby.
comparison, which was absolutely not the same way.
Oh,
like
no.
Baby Gorgo was pretty big at the start. And then when the two of them get together, it's like the size of like a cat almost.
Well, the funniest thing too is like you see them get out and go into the same water, and it's the same size both times.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the same size. But
yeah.
then when they're standing next to each other, little baby.
Mama Gorgo could literally fit Baby Gorgo in her hand. Like it's so
she
funny.
wouldn't though because they had one costume.
They probably had one costume. Yeah. Well, I did find out it is the same actor in both of the suits because it's the same suit twice.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think it is really cool. They managed to do that and just like change the scale of the buildings and all the miniatures to make them look bigger or smaller, right?
I like that.
But it's hilarious because all that happens at the end of this movie, Mama Gorgo busts Baby Gorgo out of jail, basically, and then they just leave. And then they just walk back into the ocean, and then the end
In
pops up on screen.
like a beautiful sunset, riding off into the sunset montage
It's
of
incredible.
them swimming away. It was honestly like almost tear-jerking.
Yeah,
it was
I loved
so
it.
cute.
But it's just hilarious because, like, I honestly, I side with the monster in this because all she wanted to do was get her kid. She did not do any, like, vengeful, like, you people are terrible. You stole my son. I'm going to destroy your town and kill you and stomp on you. She just had one goal in mind, and she did it, and then she left.
Well, and the funniest thing about the entire thing for me is that the government was literally just like, kill it.
Yes.
Kill it.
Kill.
They were.
Why?
They didn't like think, oh, maybe we should get the monster back to her mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Listen to the scientists, people.
Yes. But so that's Gorgo. That's Gorgo from 1961.
Gorgo, man.
We did it, folks. Shall we discuss our expectations?
Let's do it.
So my first expectation said all the corniness you love from old monster movies. And, 10,000% on this one. And I loved it for all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious in every way. Genuinely the hardest I have laughed for the podcast.
It's great.
I really did enjoy this one a lot.
100%. I said you were going to really feel the golden age of Hollywood vibes from it. And I absolutely, I think both in positive and in negative negative ways. There's a certain amount of craftsmanship and care, like I mentioned, that had to go into a movie like this. But also, it's a very male-dominated movie with some dated effects and stuff like that. But I think it did feel like that golden age of Hollywood kind of style.
I agree. My next one was sexism. Yes, but in a weird way.
Just not in the way you would expect.
Not in a traditionally sexist kind of way.
Which I suppose I don't know if I prefer. I prefer no sexism personally.
Yeah,
but
prefer that.
If I had to take one over the other, I guess the lack of women is all right.
It's better than women being mistreated.
Yes.
But I guess you could argue that this was women being mistreated.
In a sense, yeah. A woman had her child taken away from her and, was painted as the monster, really, when all she did was go and get her son. I said it was going to be derivative of Godzilla and King Kong. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, mine was the same one. It's obvious, but it will just be a Godzilla clone. It kind of, yes,
and?
But it's mostly just a monster movie, and I actually really liked the twist of it was just a mom getting her baby back.
Yeah, exactly. Just a simple plot there, nothing crazy. I said it was going to have effects to appreciate from 1961, and not always, but there were some impressive moments from the sets and the miniatures, but that blue screen was not doing them a lot of favors.
The blue screen was so bad. There was a moment where they were getting in the water with their scuba gear on, and the blue screen was picking up everything, so you can see one of the characters' masks is showing the background.
Yeah, the background of the
him.
ocean through it.
It's so funny.
Which is really funny.
Which, I mean, that's just a limit of technology in the day.
Of course.
Back then, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing creature design that makes me excited to be on belief. Yeah, dude. I mean, okay, listen, you look at Gorgo, you're not like, whoa, yeah, coolest monster I've ever seen.
It's a big dinosaur lizard-looking thing.
But they added these little flapping ears.
It's got these little fin-like ears
so
that
cute.
did move, too.
Yeah.
I thought they were really fun.
And the glowing eyes, too. It was just a great creature design.
Exactly. It's one of those things that's those memes where it's guys will see something like this and think, hell yeah. Absolutely. I see Gorgo and I think, hell yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
And then to talk on Gorgo, my final expectation was I will side with the monster, and literally all Gorgo wanted to do was get her child back.
Oh,
you know, what's so hard to understand about that? So yeah, I side with the monster. Gorgo was right.
Useless characters, I need more destruction. The sexual tension between our two leads was palpable, and I loved it. But other than that fake plot line, the characters were pretty forgettable. I mean, they weren't bad. They were just kind of like every other monster movie. They were forgettable.
Totally, absolutely. Our surprises on this one. For me, my first surprise, I said lots of impressive miniatures utilized very well. Some effects definitely dated the movie, but a lot of them were shocking for the time. Again, not shocking compared to today's standards, but for 1961, honestly, pretty dang good. You'd imagine a ripoff of another movie would do worse, but they did pretty okay with it, honestly. Yeah. Again, we've harped on so much, almost zero women in this movie. Wow, it's just wild. It was way funnier than I was ready for, hilarious for all the wrong reasons, which made it very, very entertaining.
So funny.
Honestly, that whole gay love story throughout, you can't tell me it wasn't, because I'm gonna say it was.
It was.
And then my final surprise is just the ending was so simple but so right. That's all it needed. Yeah. You didn't need any crazy. I didn't want Gorgo to die or anything like that. So yeah, I thought it was a really nice ending.
And I'm just gonna say ditto to all that because you literally said all of my same surprises.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy. Then I guess we can get into our verdicts then. Yeah. For me, that was gorgorable. Any fan? So to translate, that was horrible for sure, right? Yeah. Any fan of giant kaiju monster movies will have a great time watching this one. It's got some impressive effects and some laughable effects, lots of action, but lots of inconsistencies and plot holes. It has it all, really, all wrapped together by a fun dinosaur monster that could really go toe to toe with the greats in Godzilla's rogues gallery. I would say personally, even though I guess technically it might be Godzilla's ex-wife. I don't know how that works, but
I guess
Gorgo is the perfect bundle of monster movie tropes and gimmicks. So Gorgo, watch it anytime you need some cheap entertainment.
Nice. That was horrible for me too. Get your friends together, watch Gorgo. This fantastic tale of blue screens and reused shots will bring so much joy to you if you're a fan of just movies or cheesy 60s movies in general, or even monster movies. This was everything I wanted and more. I want more Gorgo.
I want more Gorgo.
Give me more Gorgo.
Gorgo is in. Gorgo is hot. I want more Gorgo. I want more Gorgo. Yes, me too. Blah, blah. I would love more Gorgo.
Hey, Count Trivia.
I would love more Gorgo. Gorgo.
You have to roll
Is this a good impression of the famous vampire?
That was pretty good. I liked you doing a character voice trying to do.
See, that's the hardest thing they don't tell you. It's trying to do an impression through an impression.
Could I try?
Yeah, Science Jim, lay it on me. What you got?
I would like to be a vampire.
You really only have to roll. There you go. You have to roll the R's.
It is my dream.
That's not bad. And Derek, for you, I'm hearing like the science gym in the Nosferatu. Like the layers are there.
Okay, can I try Hell Horse now?
Oh yes, please.
Okay. I am a vampire. I want to bounce on it.
Oh my goodness.
That didn't work.
So before Count Trivia left after doing his wonderful Nosferatu impression, he did leave me with some trivia cards, and they are as follows. This was one of 15 films that were released in 1961 that was considered for an Academy Award for special effects, which actually really does track, because I think the special effects do hold up, right? When the film was being viewed by the British Board of Film Classification, the occupants of the neighboring offices came in to complain about the noise it was making because it was so loud, which, again, kind of tracks, right? The concept for the film's British poster art and lobby cards was that the face of Gorgo was not revealed. The idea was based on the line of dialogue in the film from actor Martin Benson that Gorgo's name is derived from the Gorgons of Greek mythology. The sight of their faces would turn you to stone.
Cool.
Which, again, like, it's a cool concept, a little bit of a stretch for this one, Like, I don't really see the direct connection between the two of those. But so... they had considered some other locations for Gorgo to destroy that weren't just London. So they had Japan, Paris, and Ireland, and finally England. The producers were also considering Australia as a location. However, they decided that, quote, no one would even care if Gorgo's mother attacked Australia. So they just settled on doing it in England, which I think is kind of funny. But I mean, I guess so. This one struck me as really interesting. Gene Simmons... You know Gene Simmons of, the rock group Kiss, a lifelong fan of monster films, based the now iconic design of his performing boots on Gorgo's head.
What?
I had to go look it up. So,
oh my god!
Because I wasn't incredibly familiar with Gene Simmons boots, but they are like these scaled silver like dragon head boots,
Look at that.
It is actually really really fun to see.
Look at that!
So yeah, those were based on Gorgo, this movie from 1961.
The red eyes are there.
It's crazy.
Oh my god.
You can see the similarities for sure. And then finally, our last bit of trivia here. The ending, like I mentioned, I kind of like the ending, right? How Gorgo didn't die.
Oh yeah, me too.
The ending was inspired by Eugene Laurie's daughter, actually, who cried at the end of The Giant Behemoth from 1959 when the monster in it was killed. So he decided to let the two monsters in this film live. He's like, I don't want my daughter to cry again, so we're going to let these guys live this time.
Think we could get Gene Simmons onto the podcast?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's got nothing better to do, right? I'm sure you think he could bring his boots too?
It's so weird to see him without makeup.
Yeah, it's strange. That man does not that's a different person. Gene Simmons was like, his skin is the white and black makeup like it is.
Did you know he goes by Reginald Van Helsing?
What? Damn.
God,
much respect.
He's the coolest man.
Damn, Gene Simmons.
So
way to
cool.
go. But that's Gorgo. That's it for us. Derek, you got anything else to say about Gorgo from 1961?
I just want to remind everyone that Gene Simmons was married to Cher.
That's so strange.
I just wanted to
I feel like
remind.
they look like each other.
Just
That'd be
wanted
like
everyone to
dating
know.
yourself, honestly.
No, it was interesting for us to try to get into this new format. Have some patience with us while we get used to it.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
But I think
still.
it will work.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
I like it. I don't know. Yeah.
It felt more cohesive.
Yeah, I think so too. Derek, do you know what movie we're going to be watching for next week?
Yes. So we've actually been requested this movie a lot.
Yeah,
and Emily's
yeah.
coworker was like, you guys have got to watch it. I actually watched this movie last year.
And were you a fan?
I will not say because it's important for us to watch this movie unbiased.
Fair.
But we will be watching Willy's Wonderland from a year.
From 2021 at a 61%. This is going to be one of our movies that is like pretty high, both in the critics rating and in the audience rating, because critics are 61, audience is 67.
Yeah.
And so like people say it's pretty good, but we've heard from enough people that it's bad. Derek had a time watching it. I guess I won't say.
If I had loved this movie, we would not be watching it.
But yeah, so there's your insight on what do you have in store for Willy's Wonderland. But I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis here on Willy's Wonderland. When his car breaks down, a quiet loner agrees to clean an abandoned family fun center in exchange for repairs. He soon finds himself waging war against possessed animatronic mascots while trapped inside Willy's Wonderland. So it's Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Like, no, it's not Five Nights at Freddy's. No, you sure? Okay, I trust you. I'm hearing no from Derek, so I guess that's going to be a no on that thing. So yes, thank you for joining us for Gorgo from 1961. Before we send you off, you gotta have your Garfield horoscope.
You gotta do it.
Can't be without your Garfield horoscope.
You gotta
here.
do it.
So, Derek, have you had a chance to peruse
Well,
our
I'm just
little
looking at
comic
it
here?
right
Yeah,
now, so-
I am also looking at it right here. We seem to have Garfield with an empty box, and he's talking about how cats love to hang out in empty boxes, and then he just kind of gets in it and falls asleep.
I love that he calls it the iconic empty box.
We love-
I mean, that's actually true. I guess cats love getting in empty boxes.
It's true. Everybody knows it, right?
I'm going to be the empty box.
You're gonna be the empty box. I'm gonna be the Z at the very end. Him snoring up a storm there, just big Z.
So there's something interesting about the iconic empty box.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you look at
It's
an empty
iconic.
box and you think, that's iconic. What did that hold before? What will that hold in the future? If I remove the seals from the outside of this box, it is instead a floor and not a box anymore.
Is it still iconic?
Is it still iconic? Is it still useful? Yes. Because if you remove my seams and I am no longer a human, I am just a rug on the floor, I am still useful in some way. I am still iconic. I am still me. I'm just a different me. So you are who you are. It doesn't matter what changes about you. You are you. Make sure you find the thing that makes you feel most you and become that iconic version of yourself, and don't be afraid.
And no matter what version of you are still you, which holds value, such as this iconic box.
There you
It's
go.
wonderful. Beautiful.
Good period. Thank you for perioding
That's
that.
great. I love that. Mine is less insightful, take some you time. Rest up, It's been we are now in 2025. We made it through 2024. What a year it was. And so rest and recoup, to start this new one, and let's hit it strong, right? Just like we're trying to do here on this podcast. But thank you as always for joining us here. If you've enjoyed what you've heard here, please feel free to follow us on all of our social medias. We are on Instagram at that_was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and TikTok still exists for now. So we are on there at That Was Horrible.
It was away when we started
For
today.
less than
and
24
ended
hours.
And was back when we started
So
recording.
as long as it exists, we will also be there. Find us anywhere. You just search up That Was Horrible.
And keep an eye out over the next week for some videos on our YouTube channel. If you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you go subscribe.
Please go check
and
that out.
hit
We
that
put
little
some fun
bell.
stuff on there.
Especially, we're doing some stuff that will only be on there. So make sure you start checking that out.
That is good. That is good to mention. Yeah, because a lot of stuff will be on both. You can either listen to it or watch it. There are some that are coming up that only really work in a video format.
Yep.
Like video games and stuff. So check us out of there. As always, Garfield be with you.
Stay spooky.